Hello, hello, and welcome to tonight's info session on Dietetics Admissions, our admissions coaching program to help future dietitians become dietitians by getting into their top choice program. My name is Jenny Westerkamp. I am the founder of All Access Dietetics, and I'll be walking you through the program today so that you can get a good understanding of what it is, how it works, and decide if it's something that would be helpful to you. So I'm going to go through a few questions here to think about to get your mind right. And I know a lot of you might be listening to the recording, so you just want to pause and reflect as I ask you these questions. But you want to ask yourself right now, like, why do you need help with getting into a dietetics program? What brought you here? What feels like a struggle in terms of everything that is involved with getting into a dietetics program? And some answers that I've heard would be, if people are just overwhelmed or they don't have resources to help guide them through the process of applying, or they don't know what programs are best for them or how to find preceptors. There's just like all of these different moving pieces, as well as the fact that you may have never done this before, which that alone, just something new and unknown, can cause some stress. So think about that question for yourself. Why do you need help with getting into a dietetics program? And then the second question would be, what do you want to happen in this application process? What is that dream outcome? And not so much, okay, I want to get into my top choice program, I want to become a dietitian, but think about it more in terms of what you want to happen in the application process itself. Do you want to feel less stressed? Do you want to feel supported? Do you want to feel like you're getting things done, that you have a plan and you're just following it and it's very clear? Think about that experience that you want to have. Do you want to start early? Do you want to finish early? What is it that you want to have happen? Okay. And then the third question to ask is, how would your life look for you in 2 or 3 years if you got into a dietetics program that you wanted, or that when you finally made that decision to become a dietitian? What would your life look like? What kind of job would you be in? What would your salary be? How would your family change? Would you move somewhere? What is it that would actually happen? And the reason why is because you do want to have that vision of a more positive future as a way to help get you motivated to go through something that's as hard as applying to dietetics programs. Okay, so think about that answer. How would your life look? And zoom out, because I feel like when you are a future dietitian, it's easy to zoom in on the next 6 months or the next year, and even having the unknown of like, I don't even know where I'll be in the next year. Zoom out on that. Assume that you've already gotten into that program. What does life look like for you now? And get excited about that. All right, our mindset's right. So now we're going to get into some stats just really quickly. If this is the first time that you've been introduced to All Access Dietetics, I want to give you a quick background. So I started the company back in 2009 or 2008 into 2009. I was a future dietitian myself. I felt like there weren't a lot of resources for becoming a dietitian. So I wanted to create the community, create the resources, create the services that would really help support RD2Bs. And since 2009, when we started application coaching, we have been able to help over 2,200 applicants individually. We've helped like 50,000 people since 2009, actually, with like free resources and with events like this and free webinars. But in terms of the one-on-one coaching, we've helped over 2,200. We've had 14 years total of supporting RD2Bs. And then with our coaching, we've had 100% success rate in 2021 as well as 2022. I don't know why I said it like that, but 2021, 2022. Sorry, long day. But that is our success rate. And I will get into why we have that success rate in a little bit. And then we have 6 expert admissions coaches on the team. I've trained them all in what I learned in my first 10 years of coaching. And then I stopped coaching to more so run the business, and then hired amazing admissions coaches to implement my method, which I call the confidence method, in terms of how we instill confidence and help applicants feel more confident, as well as show their confidence. So in all those different ways to the selection committee. And confidence is the #1 skill that any director or selection committee is looking for, and it needs to be communicated through your actions and through your application. Our Dietetics Admissions program, this was actually formerly called Get Matched Coaching. And so if you did see that on our Instagram or website, that has transitioned to this new name. And that is because match, the idea of getting a match to an internship program is changing, and the match actually might go away in the near future. So we just needed to tweak our language and marketing to flow with the changes of the profession. The other thing is that for the last 4 or so years, people can apply to graduate programs, what used to be called future education model programs, and those do not participate in match either. So not all of our clients in the last 4 years even went through the match process. And that's why we just decided to change the name so that you knew you don't need to go through a match in order to work with us. It could be if you're applying to any type of dietetics program, whether that's a coordinated program, a future education model now called the graduate program in nutrition and dietetics, or into a dietetic internship program. Dietetics Admissions offers 3 things. So it offers personalized support. You're matched 1-to-1 with a admissions coach. Then you have mentorship, because these are advisors and fellow, dietitians that are going to be able to mentor you through your journey to that RD. And then application coaching, where we are looking at your materials, we are brainstorming that personal statement together, reviewing your resume, going into your application, checking that it's perfect, kind of being like a director who would be reviewing and analyzing and critiquing your application. We're doing that all before you actually press submit. And those are the 3 core pieces to Dietetics Admissions. Now, coaching is for you if you, for a few reasons, 3 main reasons, because we've worked with so many students at this point and know that they come to us for different pain points that they want us to help them solve. And so the top 3 are, you want to save time. So you don't want to do this on your own, and you want to be able to save time, be efficient, and be able to do this in a way that you have so much on your plate right now. You just want to do it as efficiently and quickly as possible, whether that means you're starting early and you just want to get it done over the summer, even though it's not due till the fall, or if you have a deadline coming up close, like this summer, and you want to just get it done in 6 weeks or less. So when you have a coach by your side, you're being very efficient. You're not having to figure it out on your own, and you can save a lot of time there. And have that to be focused more on, making money with your part-time job, or focusing on your grades or your family or your obligations outside of school. Number 2 is you want to change careers. And this would be especially for people that maybe are just out of school, even if they did have a dietetics degree, and then they want to kind of come back to it, or they maybe have a non-dietetics related background and they're wanting to make that switch and transition into the dietetics field. That is our specialty in terms of just being able to help someone that has no background, give them all that background, all that mentorship, all the ways that they can use their skills that they've learned and gained in a professional setting, and apply that to become a future dietitian, or to become a dietitian. So that's the second type of bucket that people fall into. And then the third type, and you can fall into multiple buckets, you can fall into all of these or 2, whatever it is. But the third type is you want a lot of personalized support. So often, especially if you don't have access to a dietetics advisor or any dietitians, having that dietitian by your side really can help guide you and tell you things that you would have not known about the field, about your options, about just how everything works. So having that personal support, you get a lot of benefit from, as well as if you just want someone to be in your corner, guiding you every step of the way to make sure you're not making mistakes, to make sure that you are selling yourself and marketing yourself in the best possible way, and really making all of your hard work pay off, because you do all these things to become a competitive applicant, but then to not be able to sell that and market that confidently through the application process, you're not optimizing all that hard work that you put in. And so we ensure that you are doing that with that personalized support, because we're knowing exactly what you're doing, who you're asking for references, how you're communicating to directors, what you're putting in your personal statement. We're going to know all that because of that one-on-one nature of coaching. Our coaching clients accomplish a lot of different things, and people are kind of coming in with different backgrounds, with different needs and goals and whatever it is. So I just listed all the most popular ones here, but just to give you an example of kind of the journey and what you would accomplish with a dietetics admissions coach. First, you would research and choose the best programs for your goals and needs. You'd gain experience. You'd know what experience to get to become more competitive and be really strategic with your time there. Like past clients wrote a personal statement that reflected their strengths, that really marketed themselves. They created a visually appealing and powerful resume, even if they're not from a background in dietetics, or if they have minimal dietetics experience. They communicated professionally and confidently with directors. So many students will tell me, I didn't even know you were supposed to communicate with directors. I'm like, you absolutely are. And there's a huge strategy there to increase your chances of getting into that program. Then they've secured preceptors for supervised practice if you are looking into distance type programs where you do have to set those up yourself. So the coach can guide you through that strategy, through how to pitch yourself to those potential preceptors, how to get interviews, calls, so that you can get the yeses from those people so that you can do those types of programs. Learned about less expensive options to the RD, which that's my favorite one, because I've literally had career changers tell me, I've been looking into options and it looks like it's going to take me like 4 years and probably like $60K in order to make this switch. I'm like, do you know about the 75 programs out there that maybe will take you only like 2.5 years or 3 years at most? And maybe 25 to 30K. And it like blows their mind. And they're like, this one fact literally saved me $25,000 just by knowing that. And they would have not known that at all because they weren't from the field. They didn't know about those options. And then finalized an error-free application, which means you get to have another set of eyeballs on your application on every single part, every single piece, and then be able to get that edited. I know on average, our coaches will find 20 grammar or completion errors on every quote, final application, and we fix those before you turn it in. Just one of those things where you're staring at something for so long, it's on your computer screen, it's really hard to catch errors. And so you know that you're going to have that and have it be perfect before you submit it. And finally, prepared strategically for the interview process. We know that that's still a huge part of the application. And so we want to make sure that you are doing that final argument to them that you should be chosen, that you will bring your confidence to their program. So that's a typical journey of the accomplishments that a dietetics admissions coach would have throughout that experience. Now, the power of a coach, I have a prior career. I had 13 years where I worked in professional sports, and I very much value the power of a coach to be able to take someone to the next level, to be able to bring their expertise, to bring their accountability, to bring their support, their skills, their strategy to you, someone that hasn't gone through this before and needs that mental support in order to maintain the confidence and to maintain that effort that's needed to do your best in this application. So the power of a coach means they're going to teach you skills and strategies that your competition will not know. They are going to provide you that high level of personalized help that you won't get from a class or an advisor. They're going to keep you on a schedule. There's actually a roadmap that you go through with your coach, and they put in mini milestones and deadlines so that it's never overwhelming. It prevents you from procrastinating. And actually, most of our clients finish early because of that, because there's someone that's holding you accountable. There's a meeting on the calendar. You know you need to get these certain things done before you meet with your coach. So it just helps to have that built in. It saves you time because they're only an email or a call away. Like you can do check-in calls and be able to communicate with your coach so that you're not held up by questions. It reduces the fear and anxiety around all of the unknowns. So without having a guarantee, you're getting as close to a guarantee as you can because you are working with an expert to get you into your top choice. It improves your confidence mindset, which is really important for the interview. We have clients that will say, I didn't even think I was worthy of getting an internship spot or a graduate program spot, but through learning all of these things that I've done, being able to prove all these skills that I have, I now feel more confident in that I have done the hard work. I am ready to do an internship or a graduate program. And that is really key going into the interview. And finally, they coach you through a really pivotal part of your RD journey and get you one step closer to that credential. So it's to be able to have that support. It's one of those things where if you are aware that you do need the help and support, it's a good practice to go out there and get it and, do that for yourself and invest in yourself and in your future career. So here are the 5 S's of the confidence method that I want to go over briefly. And I say this just because this is like a taste of how a coach would help you. It's not just in the tactical, like, oh, here's, edits on your personal statement. They're working on all 5 of these things to make sure these are being included in your application. So number 1, self-awareness. We need to make sure that you're aware of where, especially at the beginning, like where your deficiencies are, where your weaknesses are as an applicant, and then have the self-awareness to put things in place so that you can fix those gaps. So if you need leadership experience, or you need to get one more, shadowing experience or a volunteer position that would strategically align and boost your resume, they're going to help bring that out of you and help you fill those weaknesses before it's too late. The next is storytelling, where we know that through marketing, story is so powerful, and we don't want to just say that we have certain skills. We want to show it through story, through the power of example. We do this in how we introduce you to a director in an email. You tell your story there. You tell your story in the interview. You tell your story in your personal statement. And so having the storytelling strategy is going to help you stand out. And then we have skill marketing. And this is especially for people that have skills or jobs in non-dietetics areas, where we want to pull those skills and showcase how those transfer over to your future as a dietitian and why those skills will make you a better dietitian. And so we want to make sure that that comes out. We want to choose the right skills, the most powerful skills that directors are looking for. The 4th S is selling. And this kind of goes into the 5th one, which is self-belief. But in selling, it is always using the opportunity to sell yourself in just simply by reaching out to directors before you apply. That alone is going to be an action of selling yourself, because not all applicants are doing that. And you want to be able to show like what value you can bring to the program and how the program is a good fit for you. This happens in the personal statement, where you are wanting to show the alignment between yourself and that program. And it takes extra research. It takes director communication. It takes researching, talking to past interns or students from that program. And that whole process and strategy is something you would go through with your coach. And then finally, the self-belief being that it's all about that confidence and believing that you have done what you needed to do. You've done all the right things. You've gotten the support, and you believe that you are worthy of that internship or that graduate program spot. And if you're losing that and then the coach is there to help build that back up and give you that solid evidence so that you don't run into having imposter syndrome, so that you don't run into being, discouraged or just not believing that you can do this. When you have that self-belief, that's like gasoline on a fire, where you are able to work really hard, put in the necessary work that's needed to just reach that goal and get that spot. So these are the 5 S's of the confidence method that I've trained all of our coaches on, that they've been practicing, that we've been using to get that 100% success rate, because these are skills that you aren't using often and maybe have never used, but these are the skills that are needed to confidently apply to programs. And these are amazing skills to help you get into your first job and your second job and your third job. These are very solid skills for career development. All right, so then a few more slides here. So without a coach, the typical experience for someone is to maybe have none or maybe a couple hours of personalized support from an advisor or from a dietitian. And then oftentimes applicants will procrastinate. They'll waste their time trying to research everything on their own and just feeling lost and feeling like a sense of overwhelm. They'll be unaware of the faster and cheaper options, like I said, where, it just kind of blows people's minds around, what those options are, and they don't have the time to research those like we've done that. This is all we care about is knowing about all these things. So having that expert to give you that information is awesome. But, without a coach, they might not be aware of that. And then there's a lot of nerves and overwhelm and unknowns, and that can be really unsettling and extra stressful. But then with a coach, you have 10 plus hours of personalized support with our most common coaching package. And it's from an expert admissions coach. And then you save time and you can finish your applications in as little as 6 weeks. So it doesn't have to feel like it's hanging over your head for a year. Obviously, you can do it any sort of which way. Like if you did want to do coaching and space it out over a year, that's another way to do it. It's all very personalized. But for someone that maybe does want to just knock it out, you can do that and boom, 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 go through it all. And then with a coach, you can save money and time by getting that RD credential with a different program type or just with a different strategy, or getting into let's say a top program that has a stipend or is lower in tuition than your second choice. Then you're able to increase your chances there to get that and save money on that. And finally, with a coach, you will have that support and confidence, and just really feel like you have a superpower and have a sidekick. You're the superhero and you have a sidekick to help you to get through this. Now, there are a few things, because people are always like, I mean, I know I could use this. I know it would be awesome to have a coach, but it can be scary to make the investment in it. And so these are the topics that would come up on the enrollment, like the application call that you have. So you apply for the admissions coaching program, and then you'd have a call with our enrollment coach, Christian. And he goes through these 5 different areas where he wants to know and kind of mentor you through whether or not this really is a good decision for you and whether it is worth your investment. Because it can be scary just rationally to think like, well, it's nice to have, it's this, it's this much money, but then, is it worth it? And this will help you decide that honestly for yourself. We love mentorship at All Access Dietetics. And so that call is really like a mentorship call. He did the coaching himself when he was going through the process, so he can speak to his experience, but he's also spoken to hundreds of people that have considered working with an admissions coach, and it can help you decide if it's the right fit based on like all the different past types of people that have gone through that maybe would be related to you. So this is what he'll go through, like needs and pain points that you have, what your current confidence level is in terms of going through this process on your own, your availability, like how much time you're able to actually commit to the application process and determining if that is enough. I know for people that have full-time jobs and they're going to school or they're raising a family, like whatever it is, you can see where there's like, it might be not ideal to be trying to squeeze in and, add this on top of all that. So the idea of saving time by working with a coach could make total sense for you. And then you want to look at your current resources. Do you have an advisor? Do you have a support already that maybe you think is enough versus one of our expert admissions coaches? You can explore that. And then think about the ROI, the return on investment, and what that means for you, not just in the next year, but in the 2 to 3 years and in like the start of your career, and decide if that, being able to create that reality by investing in that program is worth it to you. So your investment to have that dedicated coach guiding you through the entire process, saving you time, giving you the best possible chance of getting into your top choice, helping you achieve your goals, and teaching you how to market yourself with confidence. That is the investment that you're making. It's not a coaching program. It's all of these things. It's the transformation that you go under where you become a confident future dietitian by going through that confidence method and using all those strategies, and then taking that with you as you move on in your career. The prices are now customized based on how many programs you're applying to, if you need additional mentorship, or if you just need application help. And there are payment plans available. So in the application, we ask sort of what your budget is. And then on the call, we can discuss, okay, here, based on your budget, like here's what how we think we can help you. And then we can go from there. So we did change that, and it's just every applicant's really different now because it's not just this straight. Everyone just applies to dietetic internships and tries to get matched. It's really all over the place with people in a lot of different backgrounds. And that's why we've made it all completely customized. And there are options. If you saw the price last year, I think it was $28.87, but we have lower priced options now to meet different needs. And if you are listening to this info session and you either live or the recording, then I do want to point out that if you mention info session in your application, in your Dietetics Admissions application, you will get Pass Class, which is our super famous RD exam prep program, for free. So we will give that to you so that you can use that once you get into your program, and then as well at the end of that program to study for the RD exam and pass it. So we know we want to give you that bonus because we want to help you not only get into the program, but then pass that RD exam and become an RD. And we would love to be a part of your journey with that. So if you do apply, which I'll put the link in the chat soon here, just put info session and you will get Pass Class for free. Final talking points here. My best advice is I just don't want you to submit an average application. So whether or not you do dietetics admissions coaching or not, I don't want you to submit an average application. I do want you to go all in on this and make sure that all of your hard work pays off. I think that so often people don't take as seriously the application process. They did all this hard work, they got the good grades, they got the experience, but then the application, they just don't sell themselves confidently in a way that will outcompete the competition, right? Because there are programs with a select number of spots and many more applications, and it's a competition, unfortunately, but you have to know that. And it's similar to like when you go and try to find a job, there will be other people competing for that spot. And if you want it, you want to go all in on yourself and make it happen. And then think about investing in your life 2 or 3 years from now. So your homework from me as your not maybe unofficial coach is to complete the dietetics admissions application. There's no obligation to actually sign up if you do that. Have that call with our enrollment coach, Christian, and then make that decision. I think it's just one of those things to be able to explore it, speak to him, have him help you through those different areas of whether or not it's really a good fit for you and a good investment, and then make that decision. And then, that's it. I think there's some people that will delay the decision. They'll think, oh, let me just try and do it on my own. But we know that a lot of those people will come back and wish they had started working with a coach sooner versus trying to do it on their own. So you just want to make that decision like early on, and whether it's yes or no, then you've at least committed to that and can do what you need to do to get support if you decide not to do the coaching. All right, sorry, that's another reminder to mention info session in your application. And then just another reminder on the confidence method and, thinking about these things, the 5 S's around self-awareness, storytelling, skill marketing, selling, and self-belief. All of those things are key to have a successful application process, not only in the experience of it, but also in the tactics and the strategies to actually get yourself into that top choice program. All right, so if you need more information, let me just drop some links in the chat here. So people might be at different stages. So you might be thinking, okay, I just need to learn even more about what this program is. And that would be going to the landing page, which would allow you to kind of pick, do you want to save time? Do you want to change careers? Or do you want that personalized support? And then you can see the different landing pages for that. And they're just different based on, what that need is for you. And we have specific testimonials related to whatever that need is for you. And then if you do want to, you have the information, but you need help actually deciding if it's right for you, then you do want to go to the link on the Dietetics Admissions page that would be to apply. And you know what? I didn't have, let me see if it's in, oh, I did have it saved. Okay, that is the link that I just put in the chat to, oops. to be able to apply. And again, no strings attached there, no obligation if you apply, but it helps us get to know more about you. And then you're prompted to schedule a call with our enrollment coach, Christian, who will be able to mentor you through this decision. All right. So with that, we are going to wrap up here, but if anyone has questions, if you can drop them in the chat, I can stick around for a little bit longer here, but I thank you so much for your time and for being able to learn more about this program. We are really proud of it. We've been doing it now, like I said, for 14 years. Oh my gosh, wait, 9, 23, 14 years that we have been individually helping people through this process. And we've learned so much along the way from the 2,200 applicants and really have figured out and kind of cracked the code on the roadmap, on the strategy, on how to get you through this with the least amount of stress, most efficiently, with the most support so that you can feel super confident. But yeah, that's all I have. So if anyone has any questions, feel free to chat them in. Otherwise, thank you so much for listening. And I hope we can help you through this next step towards the RD credential. All right, so I just have a question here. Are there certain periods of time you work with a coach? So in terms of the timing, our clients can start anytime, depending on, whenever they're ready to dive into all of this, but then they just schedule with their coach directly. So they will schedule calls and check-ins, just kind of figure out, based on the timeline, okay, let's check in for these few months every month. And then as we get closer to the deadline, we might do every other week or every week check-ins. And it's all part of the package where you have an allotted amount of time, and then you can calendar that time in whatever way makes the most sense. And the first call you'll have would be like a game plan call where you'd be able to detail that out and have that roadmap. All right. You're welcome. Okay, so if anyone has any other questions and didn't want to ask them here, I'm just going to drop my email in the chat box, but it's jenny@allaccessdietetics.com. And then we'll look forward to hearing from you there. And again, don't forget about putting info session in your application should you decide to move forward with that next step. And then that will allow you to get past class for free if you do end up enrolling in Dietetics Admissions. So that's it. Thank you so much again for being here and taking the time. We love our community and hope to see you on Instagram or in our emails or inbox really soon. Have a great night.
Thank you so much.
Yes, thank you. Bye-bye.
Bye.